and municipal building property and find out how to enjoy favorite holiday treats and still keep off weight. Welcome to Sbu TV News. I'm Claire Glatz.
And I'm Rob Cannon. Olean residents are still expressing their concern over the display of a nativity scene. Vanessa Diaz reports.
It wasn't exactly the main reason the town council was meeting, but about a dozen community members expressed their feelings for and against the display that sits on the lawn of the municipal building. Olean resident Mary Thomas says she feels the nativity scene is a beautiful addition during the holiday season to the city, but the bickering has gotten out of control.
If you don't like it, don't look at it. Who's making anybody look at it?
How does the mayor feel about the reactions from the community?
I don't see the big fuss.
So why doesn't the mayor just appease the outcries and move it?
I have no problem moving it to the park. Am I going to move it to private property? No.
And what exactly did the mayor have to say to April Garlow, wanting to place a Wiccan symbol next to the nativity scene?
He gave the reporters the statement that he would allow my pentacle. So when I called him about coming up and putting it up, he said no. He hadn't made that decision yet.
The mayor's reaction?
I have no problem with her putting it up.
In the future, the nativity scene could be moved to the park across the street. But for this year, Mayor Carucci has said it will stay on City Hall property. For Sbu TV, I'm Vanessa Diaz.
Ms. Garlow has said she will not erect the symbol even with the mayor's permission due to concern of being sued from outside organizations.
The Regina A. Quick Center for the Arts at St. Bonaventure has its 4th annual exhibition of nativity creches on display. One local woman's personal collection takes up most of the exhibit. Kaitlin Dean has the story.
About 156 nativities, plus all of the ornaments on this Christmas tree. These are Eunice Meridian of Olean's contributions to the Christmas Across 6 Continents exhibit.
Got to the point where I just couldn't put them all out anymore. Here's going to be the first year, well, in 6 years that I've seen the whole collection.
Meridian said she started collecting when her children were younger to teach them the meaning of celebrating Christmas.
This sort of started growing, and then, you know, somebody said once you have 3 of something, you have a collection. And once you have 30, then you have 40, and then 50, and it just sort of kept growing.
In all, she has creches and ornaments from 20 to 25 different countries.
As I traveled and would make my trips to Europe and other places, it was something to bring back that I liked.
She isn't satisfied yet, though.
I don't have as many different countries as I would like. I would love to get one. My goal right now is I'm trying to find one from Japan or China.
The representation of different cultures is one reason Meridian loves collecting creches.
They depict them with their facial features, their color of skin, laying in their kind of a manger. And that just makes everyone special.
Everything on display here from Meridian's collection is on loan for now, but she says she eventually plans to donate a good portion of it to St. Bonaventure. For Sbu TV, I'm Kaitlin Dean.
The exhibit will be on display at the Art Center until January 6th. The Art Center is open weekdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and weekends from noon to 4.
The aroma of pine needles is one reason to favor a fresh-cut tree instead of an artificial one this holiday season. Stephanie Nikolaou has more to help you decide which real tree is best to store your gifts under.
We want to buy the really big tree.
Fresh Christmas tree enthusiasts like Kaitlin are shopping at local stores like Pleasant Valley Greenhouse and Nursery in Olean.
Fraser, the Douglas, the Grand Fir, and the Concolor Fir and the Blue Spruce are probably one of your best varieties of Christmas trees.
Manager Dan Spring tours his greenhouse for the perfect one. His first stop, the Grand Firs.
I like this one because it's really full. They make a perfect Christmas tree. Then over here we have your Blue Spruce. Very prickly, but once again they make a perfect shape for a tree. And a lot of people like the really blue color. Douglas Fir They hold their needles really well, but they're really soft. If you got heavy ornaments or anything, this one, it wouldn't be a good. Here you have a concolor fir, a little same thing with a bluer color, softer needles, give it more of a citrusy smell.
Madeline Vossler is sold on the Fraser fir.
We like to put our tree up as early as possible, beginning of December, and they seem to last good for us.
Short needles that last a long time, branches perfect for holding ornaments, and its size makes this Fraser fir a perfect tree for Christmas. It is one of the most popular ones sold during the season.
If they were to pick out this tree, we'd put a fresh cut on the bottom. We'd bale it up, put it in the car or whatever, and then when they get it home, we recommend like putting it in average room temperature water.
Spring recommends buying locally grown trees.
There's so many trees, like I said, that are from the south, and they cut them in August and September. And I mean, stand it up, shake it a little bit. If the needles start falling off, you're not going to want it, you know. You're going to get it home, and all the needles will be gone by Christmas. So.
The trees range in price from
$39.95 to $49.95.
And remember,
don't leave it plugged in all night long. Just make sure somebody's there.
For Sbu TV, I'm Stephanie Nikolaou.
If you plan on buying a fresh-cut tree, it should last at least 4 weeks.
It is possible to enjoy a few of your favorite things and not end up with a belly that shakes when you laugh like a bowl full of jelly. I took a look to find out how.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Eat, drink, and be merry. The holiday season has arrived, and it's time to indulge. We tend to overstuff ourselves during the average holiday meal.
It's around 5,000 calories, which is more than double your daily needs.
Adding up for a weight gain of
about 8 pounds through the holidays.
Fresh baked rolls, one of my favorite holiday foods. You can enjoy yours too, but you may want to remember, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Eat a balanced meal and then try to have a sliver of a dessert. And make your vegetable the largest portion of the plate. And then second would be your protein or your meat, like your turkey or ham, whatever you should choose to be. And then also the smallest portion would be your carbohydrates. It would be your rice, noodles, stuffing.
Extra calories aren't only chewed and swallowed.
With your juices, if you were to take and mix it with like sparkling water, 50-50, put your ice cubes in the drink, but you sip it a little bit slower.
You may even want to avoid a no thank you portion of some things.
Try to stay away from deep fried foods altogether, butter, cream sauces, the heavy cream drinks, the heavier pies, maybe stick with a pumpkin pie or an apple pie.
When your stomach is stuffed,
a little bit of lounging is fine, but the best thing you can do is to get up and get moving. Go take a 10-minute walk, go shopping.
No matter what you consume this holiday season, Robbins leaves you with this advice.
Exercise at least 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Maybe a little bit extra if you know that you're going to be having an extra slice of pie.
For Sbu TV, I'm Claire Glatz. Another of Robin's suggestions is to make sure you're eating whole grain carbohydrates.
Holiday parties can leave you with more than a hangover. Too much drinking can also be bad for your heart. In today's Health Minute, CNN's Judy Fortin tells us about holiday heart syndrome.
An open bar can be tempting during the holiday season, but cardiologists say too much wine, beer, or hard liquor can send your heart into an abnormal rhythm and create holiday heart syndrome.
These people wind up going from their celebrations to the emergency room and often being admitted to the hospital with a very rapid and irregular heartbeat.
Dr. Lawrence Sperling says the condition can occur in anyone from binge drinkers to people who rarely drink. It isn't always dangerous, but the sensation can be frightening.
Feels like your heart's beating out of your chest, your heart's racing. There can be associated symptoms like feeling short of breath, sometimes a pressure-like feeling in the chest or in the throat or neck.
Dr. Sperling tells patients to get checked out by a doctor.
Big breath again.
Often a regular heartbeat will resume on its own, but some patients need medication or electric shock to restore the rhythm. He recommends people drink in moderation or not at all, not just during the holidays, but year-round. For today's Health Minute, I'm Judy Fortin.
Happiness is just a mouse click away, unless your online shopping experience ends up a disaster. Megan Ellis reports.
Point, click, buy. This is the way some people shop.
It's pretty convenient. It's better than going to stores a lot of times.
With the holiday shopping season here, there will be many consumers buying online. But as with any crowded shopping area, there will be criminals, in this case cyber thieves, lurking. Although the danger is real, many online consumers have a false sense of security.
I think it's pretty safe. If I trust the webs or the company, then I don't really read the fine print.
Even those who know the dangers firsthand aren't deterred.
I had a credit card fraud issue one time. I got a new credit card and then I kept going shopping online.
Holiday shopping has already started.
Half of it so far has been online.
And holiday shopping will continue.
I'll probably shop for my brothers and sisters online.
For Sbu TV, I'm Megan Ellis.
Consider this. 10 years ago, Cyber Monday was just the plain old start to another work week. And now it's the biggest online shopping day, with as many as 1.8 million shoppers during the peak minute.
Safety is at the top of parents' wish lists this holiday season as they search for gifts despite the growing number of hazardous toys. Chelsea Eggleston has the story.
'Tis the season for toys and toy recalls. Aquadots, Thomas the Tank Engine wooden trains, Curious George dolls, and Batman accessories are just 4 of the more than 70 toys that have been pulled from store shelves for safety reasons. But not all of this year's hottest toys have landed on Santa's naughty list.
We have the Brat dolls, and we also have the electronic games that you plug into the television. Kids seem to really like those.
Warner said board games are also popular, but warns parents to be careful of small pieces that pose a choking risk. The Consumer Product Safety Commission also suggests to read labels carefully, choose age-appropriate toys, check products for loose parts, and stay informed about product recalls by logging on to www.cpsc.gov. But the problem in the toy industry isn't slowing overall holiday sales. According to retailers, the Friday after Thanksgiving is the season's most profitable shopping day, and this year there's an 8% increase in sales. Warner said business is steady and people are coming into her store looking for alternatives to toys.
I have the licensed vehicles that have the trading cards with them, like Ben Rosenberger and Brett Favre, Tony Romo.
She said Pittsburgh Steelers and Dale Earnhardt Jr. products are popular with boys and girls as young as 8. For Sbu TV, I'm Chelsea Eggleston.
Most of the recent recalls came after manufacturers found dangerous amounts of lead paint in the toys.
Winter is nearly upon us, and there are some things you need to change other than what you wear. Michael Postles reports.
Your car is something that can get you from point A to B, but in the winter season, you really don't want it to not work. Some things that you can do to winterize your car is you can change the oil. You should change it from a 10W30 to a 5W30. It's thinner and it works better in the colder temperatures. Another thing you should check for is your battery. It does get weaker in the colder temperatures. You should make sure that there is no corrosion on the battery. Make sure that it has enough power and that the wiring is not frayed. Another thing that you should change is your washer fluid. It's very important that you be able to see outside of your windshield, especially in poor conditions. And washer fluid with antifreeze is going to save you a lot of time scraping ice off your windshield. You should also purchase an ice scraper like this. It has a brush on one end to brush off the snow and a hard edge to scrape off the ice. You should also consider purchasing snow tires. If you do, you should purchase 4 of them and change all of them at the same time. They do help you stay on the road, even though they are a little expensive. Now that you've taken all these precautions to make sure that your car can stay on the road, it'd be very unfortunate if you couldn't get in your car. That's why it's very important that you also purchase some lock de-icer. In the unfortunate event that you do go off the road, it is best to be prepared. You should have an emergency kit or a bag as such with battery-operated radios, flares, and blankets. Because you don't know how long you will be waiting for help. It's never a bad idea to have something like a granola bar. For Sbu TV, I'm Michael Postles.
For more information on how to prepare your car for the harsh season, you can go to the Department of Motor Vehicles website, www.dmv.org. Accident-prone drivers will no longer have the excuse that they don't have their eyes in the back of their heads. Car maker Toyota is demonstrating how smart technology can make a car virtually crash-proof. CNN's Young La goes for a test drive.
From the packed maze of Manhattan to the sleepy suburbs of Rhode Island to the tangled streets of Tokyo, when it's car versus pedestrian, the pedestrian almost always loses. Here we go. What you're seeing as Drive is the car engineers hope will give pedestrians a fighting chance. So hit a speed of 60 miles per hour and don't brake. As we pick up speed on the Toyota test course, this special sensor detects I'm about to blow through a red light, picking up a signal emitted from the light. And it brakes on its own. It's not just red lights. Engineers are conceptualizing cars that can even detect a pedestrian is about to run out in front of you, or another car is about to sideswipe you. So the idea is to create a car where it's nearly impossible to have any sort of pedestrian accident. Honda already is marketing cars in Japan equipped with night vision and hoods that reduce the extent of head injury if there is an accident. And Toyota hopes to have its concepts for sale in 3 years. The goal, says Toyota engineer Hiroyuki Kanemitsu, is to warn drivers before they get into an accident, but not to become dependent on the safety devices. That's where a New York City pedestrian group believes this technology could actually cause more accidents.
These kinds of devices send drivers the message, okay, drive however you wish. This technology will make you and your family and people on the street safe. And that's just not true.
How much technology can do to save lives, no engineer could say for sure. But they say there is one certainty. As long as drivers and pedestrians share the streets, accidents are inevitable. Kyung, CNN, Susono, Japan.
More than 40,000 women die from breast cancer each year, and another 200,000 are diagnosed annually. Some Southern Tier women are doing something to fight back in a most unusual way. Kaitlin Foley reports.
These images are a result of one daughter coping with heartache.
I lost my mom to breast cancer, and for a long time I was just paralyzed, couldn't think of anything to do.
But at a wine tasting party, Anne and some of her friends decided to create a calendar to support breast cancer survivors.
This past spring, and we went up and got our mammograms together, and that day the realization sunk in that, 1 in 8 of us will get breast cancer.
The Women of Swill calendar started as a joke throughout the Swill parties, but turned into a serious venture after this realization.
Jokingly said that we should have a Swill, Women of Swill calendar, and we were going around, you could be Miss June and you could be Miss September, and I said, and then we should shoot it nude. And they all laughed and thought that it was funny. And as time moved on and we went and got our mammograms and we all bonded as women going through everything that women do go through together, as well as our friendships growing and developing, the light went off.
Proceeds of the calendar will go to fight the disease.
If we sell 100% of them, we're anticipating being able to donate more than $10,000 to Living Beyond Breast Cancer.
The organization is designed to help women live through breast cancer without giving up their quality of life.
The Women of Swill decided to shoot a semi-nude calendar so the ladies could be a little more comfortable. But some of the calendar girls were still apprehensive about posing.
I had never, ever done anything like that before, so it was really, it took me beyond my comfort zone.
Eva said that she used the cover shot to market the calendar and to recruit models for each month.
It just represented challenge and the fun and the friendship that we put into this, and just the joy that we got out of it.
Lori said that each photo shoot was memorable, but the group photos were always interesting.
But then when I'd have a whole group and a couple of the girls had a little glass of wine, there was a lot of giggling and goofiness going on. And we were so fortunate. It was such a beautiful hot summer that we could be out in the woods without a lot on and walk around very casually and be silly and fun, yet knowing that the end result was going to be so incredibly profound.
The Women of Swill calendar features 12 local ladies that face the camera. Although the women are unsure about a future endeavor, one thing is certain. They have more than enough ladies willing to pose for the next calendar.
To have women come to me and say, write my name down. I want to do this when you do this next time. and I've had a mastectomy, you know, or I've had chemo, I've had radiation, I have scars, but I want to be a part of this, I want to do this.
For Sbu TV, I'm Kaitlin Foley.
In case you were wondering, SWIL stands for Really Bad Cheap Wine. The Women of SWIL calendar can be purchased online by visiting these two websites or calling the Cattaraugus County Arts Council at 716-372-7455. Coming up next in sports, see how the Bonnies fared on the court against Niagara.
Daddy, why is the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
You know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
Tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about him. It's so much fun, whether we're talking man to man.
You don't need to be bigger than life to be a good dad. You just need to spend time with your kids. It takes a man to be a dad.
George Blas joins us with sports.
Thanks, Rob. After a 2-1 trip to New Mexico, the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team dropped a 63-60 decision to Eastern Michigan at the Riley Center. The Bonnies look to get back on track with a visit to Niagara. The Bonnies got off to a slow start, but a fast break ended in a Michael Lee dunk, and the game was tied at 11. The Bonnies took the lead after a steal by Malcolm Ellaby, leading to a fast break where Matt Morgan flushed it down, plus the foul to get 3 points the old-fashioned way. Great rebounding by Lee, and Zerion Ferretti knocking down a 3 for his first point put the Bonnies on top 32-28 at the half. The Riley Rowdies didn't mind traveling to support their Bonnies. The second half started out all Niagara. Stanley Hodge scored the Purple Eagles' first 5 points to start a 12-0 run. Ferretti tried to end the run himself, going strong to the basket. His next 2 free throws were his 23rd and 24th in a row. 3-point shooting by the Purple Eagles stretched their lead to double digits.
Tees up a long 3 and he hits one. Williamson for a 3 and that's a big turnover for the Purple.
Tyler Ralph had a chance to bring the Bonnies within 3, but he lost the ball out of bounds. Ron Fisher sealed the game for Niagara with a rim-rattling dunk. The 80-75 defeat marks the Bonnies' 5th straight loss to Niagara. The Bonnies return to the Riley Center to face Canisius on December 1st. The Bonnies will be without the services of freshman DeJuan Cook this season. Cook was ruled ineligible for the 2007-2008 season due to NCAA initial eligibility guidelines. Head coach Mark Smith called it unfortunate, but said he is confident Cook will be a large part of the team's success next season. With wins over Binghamton and Niagara, the women's basketball team started 5-0 for the second time in 3 seasons, before a 68-61 loss at Bowling Green. The Bonnies will play 10 straight road games before their next home game on January 12th. The men's swimming and diving team is back in action at the Akron Invite from November 30th to December 2nd. Both the men's and women's teams will host Canisius on December 8th at the Riley Center pool. After a loss to Ogdensburg in the Class B state semifinal last year, the Olean Huskies basketball team returns to the hardwood this year with plans for a return to Glens Falls. Jeff Landers reports.
Fall sports are officially over for high schools in the Olean area. That means basketball season is upon the southern tier. The Olean varsity men's team is entering this season after a trip to the New York State Final Four during the 2006-2007 campaign.
The Huskies are glad to be back at practice, and the expectations here in Olean are higher than ever.
You know, we came up a little short. We had a tremendous season. I was really proud of what the guys accomplished. But this year's group, you know, wants to get back to that point.
Anastasia points to the older guys to step up this year.
They're portraying to the younger kids, hey, this is what it takes to get to that point. You know, you have to work hard and you make your own breaks.
Anastasia talked about his team's off-season work ethic.
They worked hard all summer long. We played in the summer league here in Olean 3 days a week. We also went to team camp at St. Bonaventure, which the kids won the championship at team camp.
Olean is returning 5 seniors to this year's squad, including 6'8" center Jake Hausnick.
We feel that we have a great opportunity maybe to get back there again.
For Sbu TV, I'm Jeff Landers.
The Huskies kick off their season in the annual Olean High School Tip-Off Tournament. Tragedy has struck an NFL team. Washington Redskins safety Sean Taylor died November 27th, a day after he was shot in his home in Miami. Taylor was one of the biggest hitters in the NFL. He made the Pro Bowl last season and was having a stellar 2007 campaign. He had 5 interceptions, which tied the league lead in the NFC, even though he missed the last 2 games with a sprained knee. Sean Taylor was 24 years old. Funeral arrangements have been made for Monday, December 3rd, a day after the Redskins play the Bills at FedEx Field. They could be the Toronto Bills in a few years. At least that's what Buffalo football fans are worrying about. Phil Smith reports.
The Buffalo Bills have always been a staple in the Western New York community. Thousands of fans come from all over the area, including Southern Ontario, to support their favorite team. But what if the Bills didn't play in Ralph Wilson Stadium, but across the border in Toronto, Canada instead? With NFL approval, the Bills plan to play a preseason game in Toronto's Rogers Centre next summer and a regular season game as early as 2009.
Some Bills fans like myself are upset at the possibility of playing a home game outside of Ralph Wilson Stadium. Others, however, think it may be a great idea.
There's nothing like the Buffalo experience, but I think if we could kind of replicate what's going on down here up in Toronto, I think you'd see 80,000 screaming rabid fans.
Other fans are against the chance it might be a permanent move.
If it was going to be something, if they moved to Toronto or something like that, no, I wouldn't. I would have to terminate my season ticket.
The Bills are 5-5 this season and have 2 home games remaining, neither of which have sold out. For Sbu TV, I'm Phil Smith.
Toronto currently has a successful franchise in the Canadian Football League, but the Pro Argonauts are no match in drawing power to the NFL. And that wraps up your look at sports this week.
That's all for this edition of Sbu TV. I'm Claire Glatz.
And I'm Rob Cannon. And for George Glass and all of us here at Sbu TV
Don't leave it plugged
News,
in all night long, just make me